More is nationally syndicated radio talk show host. I call him the great one, Mark Levin. Mark, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Sean.
All right, let's talk about half the Israeli population now has been in bomb shelters in the last 24, 48 hours. You see the situation unfolding here, but yet we have a top official in the Obama administration now blaming Israel for what's going on there. Your reaction to that?
My reaction is this administration has been hostile to Israel from day one. You have the Secretary of State out there comparing Israel to an apartheid regime. You have the President of the United States who's issuing cold press releases when 3 of their teenagers are kidnapped and murdered by Hamas terrorists. I am appalled by what's going on here. The president's playing pool in Denver. He's having a grand old time. He should have come out, made an unequivocal statement in support of our ally Israel, the only democracy in the region. Where the hell is Congress? There should be a joint resolution out of Congress making it quite clear that we will stand with Israel. This country, our country, would never tolerate missiles being fired into our major metropolitan areas by anybody. That we wouldn't tolerate sirens going off, people going into fallout shelters endlessly, handing out gas masks. This is our little ally in the Middle East, surrounded by these terrorists and barbarians being attacked and attacked and attacked. And we should be speaking as a nation and as a government, full-throated defense and support.
What do you make of the comments of Philip Gordon, his special assistant to the president and the White House, and he's a coordinator for the Middle East? He actually said he attributed the violence to the occupation, using the exact term of the Palestinians, that they are responsible. What is your reaction to the statement they made publicly?
He's an Islamist sympathizer, quite frankly. That's why he said it. Otherwise, it's an outrageous statement for anybody to make. This president should fire him immediately, and he won't. The Secretary of State should fire him immediately, and he won't. Here they are under siege, under attack. They didn't provoke anything, trying to defend themselves so they can live in peace. And now we have this jerk who goes over there and starts talking about this as Israel's fault. I have never seen anything like this. Democrat or Republican administration, liberal or conservative administration. Like everything else, this president and his people take it too far.
All right, Mark, we're in Dallas tonight, and obviously we're following the story. We just had the governor on, his meeting with the president from earlier today. We got a humanitarian crisis. We got a security crisis at our borders. I would argue of the administration's own making, because they have pretty much decided they're not going to obey or enforce current law, and they're moving forward on their own. And this has now been an invitation. Everybody around the world, come in. Our borders are wide open. Your reaction?
Yeah, there's no question about it. Our lawless president is lawless when it comes to immigration, too. Here's the plan. It's a 3-point plan. Deport, secure the border, and don't give any money to governments that export their people into our country. And this is a humane plan, so people aren't raped and abused on their way to the United States, so they're not stuck on the border in the United States. That's the humane plan. That's the right plan. And let me tell you something else. What's going on in this country, the idea that compassion is an open border, that anybody who can come here, that's humane. Let me tell you something, Sean. Cesar Chavez, who is lionized by this president and the Secretary of Labor and by leftists all over the country, he opposed virulently illegal immigration. Harry Truman, Dwight Eisenhower, Ralph Abernathy, Martin Luther King's right-hand man. They opposed it right into the 1970s. This idea of open borders, anybody coming across, no matter who they are, what their backgrounds are. This idea is a new idea in this country, despite the propaganda we hear from the president, his party, and leaders in the Republican Party. A nation has the right to secure its border, it has the right to know who's coming, and it has the right to know who they are.
Mark, you and I have talked at length. There are